Most videos comparing LangGraph, AutoGen, and CrewAI get it wrong. Not because the analysis is bad, but because they've never actually shipped any of them in production. I have. And trust me, the differences matter a lot more than you'd expect. Over the last year, I've built multi agent systems across retail, logistics, and marketing platforms. Places where reliability and cost aren't nice to haves, they're requirements. So, what I'm sharing today isn't a GitHub demo comparison. This is what actually breaks, what actually scales, and what I would genuinely choose again. We'll cover three things: how each framework thinks, where each one fails, and what actually works when you go to production. Let's start with LangGraph. Most people treat it like just another agent framework, but it's not. It's a state machine. You define nodes, edges, and transitions, which means you have complete control over how decisions flow through your system. Nothing is hidden, nothing is magic. Every step is traceable. In production, that's not just nice to have, that's the whole game. LangGraph trades convenience for control, and that trade off is exactly why it holds up at scale. Now, AutoGen. AutoGen takes a completely different approach. It's conversation first, meaning agents talk to each other back and forth until they arrive at a result. And honestly, it's impressive. For prototyping and exploration, it's fantastic. But the moment you take it to production, that same freedom starts working against you. Conversations drift, agents loop, and without tight guardrails, things get unpredictable fast. Then there's CrewAI. CrewAI is role based. You define roles like researcher, writer, reviewer, and let them collaborate on a task. It's the cleanest and most intuitive of the three. If you've never built a multi agent system before, CrewAI is where you'd want to start. But that simplicity has a ceiling. Here's where AutoGen struggles in production. The biggest issue is runaway conversations. Agents keep talking, tokens keep accumulating, and your costs just quietly climb in the background. Sometimes they never even converge on a result. In a demo environment, that's manageable. In a live production system running at scale, that's a serious billing problem. CrewAI's issue is different. It works beautifully right up until the moment you need strict deterministic control. Enforcing exact decision flows is hard, and when something breaks, which it will, debugging becomes guesswork. In enterprise environments, guesswork is just not something you can afford. Now, LangGraph isn't perfect either. Its problem is the opposite of the others. It's genuinely hard to set up. You have to think through your flows in advance, manage state carefully, and anticipate edge cases before they happen. That's a real upfront investment. But here's what I've learned building these systems. That upfront effort is exactly what saves you from chaos 6 months down the line. The way I think about it now is this. In real enterprise systems, you don't actually need agents that are super smart. What you need are systems that are predictable and that occasionally act smart. That shift in thinking changes everything about how you architect these things. LangGraph is the only framework of the three that lets you hold both of those things at once. You get to decide exactly where the AI is making decisions and where it isn't. You can layer in RAG pipelines, add validation steps, enforce fallbacks. You're in control of the intelligence, not the other way around. That said, I do still use AutoGen, just not in production. It's genuinely great as a sandbox for exploring new agent behaviors and testing ideas quickly. And CrewAI still earns its place for lighter workflows where you don't need tight control. But the moment complexity starts growing, you'll feel those limits. So if you're building something that has to run reliably every single day, something real with real consequences, LangGraph is the safest foundation. Not because it's the most powerful option on paper, but because it gives you control over the power you're working with. In the next video, I'll break down the exact LangGraph architecture I built on top of a hybrid RAG system. How the agents, the retrieval layer, and the validation components actually fit together in a real production setup.